Social media savvy. Got it. You pull that cord up through there. Yeah.
So hello everybody.
Hello.
I'm Davine Dial. I'm the general manager of WPVM in Asheville, North Carolina, one of the oldest community radio stations that has gone through a lot of iterations, was silent for almost 5 years. I got involved with the station in 2014 and became manager in 2015. And today we're going to be sharing with you our experiences using social media to help increase awareness of your brand, to help increase awareness in the community of important functions in the community, whether they be political forums or concerts or events that are that your guests are coming on to the station to talk about. So we can use the live streaming to social media to our advantage, like you actually have something like a little mini TV station. So why Facebook? For us, and your mileage may vary, but there are several different social or media streaming entities: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. For us, we learn the most and we get the most reach and engagement when we go live to Facebook, and then once we're live on Facebook, we have a bunch of an awful lot of information that, using Facebook's algorithms and stats, tell us about how we're doing. So, as I said, it's currently the most effective for our purposes. Laganzi is helping us. Laganzi.
Hey. Hello.
And we are also live streaming this now. I'm using my iPad, and I've got a little mic hooked up here that captures the audio, and so afterwards, if you want to see for yourself how this sounds, how it looks, using the equipment that we're using today to give you an idea of what the quality is.
And to piggyback off of her, I'm using a standard mic with a Rode iXLR. It's an XLR interface that goes into my iPhone, and they also have one that, if you don't have an iPhone, that you can use for Android.
Do you guys think iPhones are better for this, or like Apple products, period?
Well, I'm not a Android user, so I haven't had a chance to compare. But what he's doing is going to give you an example of this presentation using an iPhone. What I'm doing is giving you an idea of how it works using this nifty little camera.
But if I could answer your question, your mileage may ultimately vary. It ultimately depends on how good of a phone that you got. Before I got this iPhone, I had a Samsung Galaxy Note 4, and it worked pretty good. As long as because most of these phones now are higher end smartphones that cost about $1,000 a piece. But as long as you have a good quality higher end smartphone like your Galaxies, your Notes, your iPhones, it should be pretty good. If it takes good pictures and video normally, it's going to be good. Of course, the biggest thing is, making sure that you have enough bandwidth for streaming. If your signal's not that great, then it really won't matter what you're using, because it's not going to be enough bandwidth for a good quality signal. Good quality video.
And trust me, I've been live streaming since 2007 or 8, and you're always going to want to get better equipment. And you're always going to want to get the best, that's the latest that's come out.
So on the iPhone, you're doing video as well?
No, we're live streaming on our radio station Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
So I'm live streaming for KLEK, and she's live streaming for her station.
So I'm live streaming to my WPVM YouTube channel. And if anyone wants to go view this video afterwards, if you just let me know, I'll send you the link. So, as I said, currently Facebook is the most effective for our purposes. And those reasons are the responses that we've gotten on Facebook. Others like Instagram and Twitter are minimal, but your mileage can vary. It's best for targeting. Never before in our ad world have we been able to directly target who we know our people are. And with Facebook, you're able to, as you build your fan base, you're able to target the subject or the video that you're putting out there directly to your people and their friends. That's very important. And so it's in the past when you were trying to get your brand out or your ad out to the community, it was a shotgun effect. Whereas now, using social media, you have a very targeted way of getting to your people who you know are going to be interested in what you're doing. And so on social media, using Facebook, there's excellent data collection that you can do to tell you what shows that you're putting out there on live Facebook are popular, what ones are getting the most reaction. Two of the important terms in using social media are reach and engagement. So if you look that up, social media on the magic Google, reach plus engagement, you'll see what you're trying to do with your social media program.
Would you be able to give a quick definition of reach? Because it's always puzzled me.
Reach is how many eyes that particular post went in front of on
Right.
their social
Went in
media,
front of, like,
on
you
their
don't know that the
on their
person-
news feed.
Right. Right, which is separate from whether the person actually used their eyes to see it, but it was offered to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you can, once you get into the video, you can see how many people saw it for 3 seconds, or how many minutes they watched the whole video. So Facebook tells you that in the stats.
And just to add, engagement is the number of people who may click like on the post, who may share the post, or even comment on the post.
Yeah, so engagement is the other part of that, where you want to put up posts that get people to either like it, share it, comment on it. And what we have found in the beginning, whenever I started the social media program, I was only putting up good news and positive things. But then, one day, I put up something that was very controversial happening in the community, and the engagement just blossomed. So I learned from that I was being too conservative with what I was putting up there. And so one of our biggest and most impressive amounts of engagement came when we have an old drainage system in Asheville that was built in the 1890s, made out of clay. And we have a lot of failure in the community for sewage and water drainage. And a 40-foot sinkhole happened, or several cars, and that got a huge amount of attention and engagement because people were really interested in what was going on.
Can I just add something?
Yes.
For us, what gets a lot of engagements, we have a volunteer / a board member who is a history professor, and she's especially into Black history and women's history. So she is just constantly digging up all of these Black history articles, either that or just any article about someone Black doing something positive. And so she just shares it, and those clear by far get our most engagement. Sometimes it even frustrates me because I'm posting something about the station and it gets buried because everybody is liking this post that about this history who did this great thing.
Okay, so to get more followers, to increase the awareness of your brand in the community. So in our case, we want to make sure that they're not confused that WPVM is Asheville FM or it's the other station. So I'm constantly putting our logo and the term WPVM in Asheville out there using social media. So the more followers you have, as you develop your followers on Facebook, the more action you're going to get. And Facebook is still emphasizing live video, so take advantage of the hype that Facebook is putting out there. They also favor something video native going straight to Facebook instead of you, as I told you earlier, I'm live streaming this to YouTube. If I take that file and put it up there, it's going to get a third of the action that Facebook is going to give it than if it's going straight live to Facebook. So the Facebook wants to 1819. You see on that 200 engagements. So that's stats that Facebook will tell you every week. And then on August, 1,600 engagements.
Were any of those promoted, or was that simply by doing the Facebook?
I think that was just doing Facebook. And part of that big one, that was the sinkhole. So the reason that I'm sharing all of this with you is there's a lot of insights that you can learn using social media. And in the upper right-hand corner where it says More, Notifications, Insights, Publishing Tools, you want to click on Insights. That's going to take you to all of the data that Facebook has to share with you and let you know how you're doing. So this is pages that I watch on the left. Other pages, WNCW is the big non-commercial station in the area. They have 38,000 engagement of 5,000. Down below where WPVM is, we've got a tenth of their followers. We've got 33,400, but we still had 2,000 in engagement. So that means that we're doing okay compared to what WNCW is doing. And then the other page, one of them is the other low power FM Nielsen report. You know, we can't, very few low power FM stations can afford to have Nielsen monitor us. So this is a way of looking at WNCW, the Nielsen rating, they're at 4%. And then if I scroll down on the right to WFM, that is the other, I don't know how they're doing this because they're a low power station. They're at 1 or 2% of the format in the community based on the statistics that we have from Facebook and comparing them and contrasting.
You got to pay for the Nielsen, right?
Yeah, it's real expensive.
Oh, and let me interject on that. There's a company called the Radio Research Consortium. They pull data from Nielsen, and it's much cheaper. It's like $600 a year. They do like 2 reports, I think a spring and a fall one, which you can break up and just do 300 for each report.
Just a quick question, that screenshot that shows the other entities on Facebook, how do you access that?
So
that
what
is
you
public?
do, so you want to watch, and if you see right up at the top there,
Yeah.
at the upper left says Add Pages, so you would click on that little link there, and you would add you would insert the name of your competition.
I never realized you could.
That's why I'm giving this class.
Good, yeah.
So you can go see what they're doing, and also you can click on every one of those links, WNCW, Mountain Express. You can click on those, and it'll show you all of the top posts that they have. So you can see if they've got a really high rating, if they've got low followers, we can go in there and look and see what are they doing getting those, that engagement happening on their page.
Some question, why not WPBM in the Asheville Nielsen listing, or am I just missing it?
Because we can't afford to
They won't
pay for
listen.
Nielsen to monitor
Okay.
our listeners.
Got
And
it.
Leganzi addressed that there is a $600 deal out there
The Radio Research Consortium.
for if you want to invest in that.
Wow.
But
What's the quality of that report, though?
Well, I think it ultimately depends on your market. Obviously, if you are outside of the top 50, they're not going to be using the ppm meter, so it'll be more of a diary measurement. And of course, if you're in a really rural community where they don't measure that often anyway, so it's kind of like more of your mileage may particularly vary.
okay,
They are a
so
good company, the Radio Research Consortium.
I think we asked.
so you
Yeah.
want to follow the pages that are relevant to you. So here is a screenshot of how we did last year as far as minutes viewed. This is a year's graph. We got 152,000 minutes viewed, and we got 211,000. At least it went in front of their eyes. And since what we're trying to do, raise awareness and go to those insights, you can the stats are phenomenal, and at this point still it's free. So you can see there's a light blue line, that's how we did last year, and then the blue line is how,
I mean, audio.
well, it's audio and video. It's
Just
audio
the
on the video. This is for if we have a musician coming in talking about what they're in town for, we live stream that whole show. Or if we have a politician coming in talking about whatever, we live stream that whole show,
Are
that
you
hour
saying-
show.
When you say live stream, do you mean video?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just curious, do you generally stream audio? Is that available?
You could stream audio, but not necessarily to Facebook, because Facebook
Well, that's
and
what I'm saying.
YouTube it depends upon the audio that you're streaming. If you're streaming original in audio, you can stream just that audio.
Yes.
But
that's what I'm asking
you cannot stream music to, copyrighted music to Facebook or YouTube. So this is another screenshot. These are stats telling us the top 10 shows for this time period between, I think this is the past 6 months of the best streaming that we did. And the first one is River Gagarian, who runs a percussion festival. And we had 33,400 video 3-minute shots or 3-second shots where people saw it pass along on their news feed on social media. This is a screenshot of NC Service Radio, which is a program that we have, and we live stream it each month when they come in, that deals with support for returning veterans, whether it's Veterans Treatment Court for addiction. It's a whole range of support that happens, and since we started streaming their program, we had 33,000 reach, and so that tells us that we're getting the word out to those people in the community, whether it's the veteran coming back from the war zone or their dependents. We're informing them of important services that are available to them in our community. So we don't know who and when it hits the right person at the right time, but we're doing our part in helping to tell the story of what's available to them. Now, engagement rate. So when you go to those insights, as I said, there's a number of different things that you can learn, and one of them is engagement rate. So engagement rate is the number of comments, shares, clicks, likes expressed as a percentage of the total of that the post reach. An engagement rate of 1% is good. 0.5 to 0.99 needs improvement, and anything below 5% also needs improvement. So you can see some of the shows here that we live streamed are up to 8 and 9%. Some are at 5%. One of them 0.893 needed improvement. So, in this particular video or screenshot, this was I mentioned earlier that the highest number on that 10 shows that we had a screenshot of. This is the River Gagarin, and this is a close-up of what the reach was, which was 5,888 people in the community. And our community is 90,000 people. So if we're reaching 5,000 or 6,000 people, we're getting about 5% out that we know that video went in front of their eyes. And then again, looking at the insights, why they were engaging in it. And this is that video.
Thank you for the invitation.
This guy is David Gans, who does a national show each week on Grateful Dead. So this is the quality of the actual video, and we're running the audio through our board there. And I'm going to show you how to do that if you're interested.
On the radio and at the brewery.
And you're using that camera.
Yeah, so we use, so I'll get to that.
The Grateful Dead Hour is canned. It's a syndicated show, and I produce it offline.
But the only music that can be heard is
Live.
He can't start singing a Grateful Dead song.
He can, if it's not under license by any of the major record producers.
Okay.
Because
But he
they're
couldn't
listening.
start- They
No,
couldn't
because
start playing one.
yeah, he could not start playing one that's on a CD or an MP3 file that has the metadata in there. If he just starts singing it, then the metadata is not there. So
Okay.
their copyright police can't pick that up.
Yeah. I guess
Is there a way your license that you have for broadcasting can be used for?
I just got through arguing with Amazon Skill over this because we have Sound Exchange and we report monthly using Spinatron, and so I convinced them we're paying for our license. So I have not, we just won't be streaming any live. We won't be streaming any
Right.
Yeah.
recorded, copyrighted material.
But if it's just somebody live in the studio, that won't have any kind of a.
Well, there's a copyright of the underlying composition, but that's not Sound Exchange's jurisdiction, so that's.
So the way they're figuring out that you're playing copyrighted material is they've got their algorithms that are picking up the metadata. If you've got a person in there live, like if this guy started playing one of Grateful Dead songs live, that's just going through the video. That there's no metadata involved in that. Does that make sense?
Well, the Sound Exchange is only copyrighted performances that they own. In other words, it has to be from a record, a live studio performance. It doesn't come under that, but it might come under the PROs.
So the way things have changed, so the reason that I'm giving this class is that people need to take advantage of the fact that you can increase the awareness of your brand, and it's gotten much easier to do. This is me in 2013. I've got a big Sony PRX 10 camera there. I've got this was a school board meeting, so I had 4 mics hooked up to them. From WPVM. Where is it? That's that. It is pretty nifty because it can act like 2 or 3 cameras at one time. It's got some interesting automation that you can work with. This is it on a small tripod close to me, and over here is a boost for it that will hold up to 10 hours. The other advantage of the boost is it will hook up to the Ethernet. The Mevo now, without the boost over there, is connected to our Wi-Fi setup. And the way you manage your camera is with a device, like an iPad or an iPhone. Mevo camera to get good quality audio is we have the camera, the Mevo camera. We have that running into this iRig. This iRig is to our headphone distributor. So what it's doing is it's going, you can see our console desk here. It's going all the way around under the broadcast console, coming all the way around here, and these cables hook it into the headphones. So when people are hearing headphones, their headphones are here as you can possibly, because it fits into here, and the iPad, which you either, for the purposes here, I'm picking up the audio using this little mic here, and it'll fold up and it'll fit in here. All of the camera stuff will fit in here, and then I don't have to tote around a huge amount of equipment. I am connected to the internet now, YouTube community, and live stream a political event. Bernie Sanders comes to town and I want to live stream it to social media or whatever. I have everything that I need to do it.
Can I ask a question? When it says 2 or 3 cameras, is that because it's
Light here.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in what these cameras will do, look up Mevo on YouTube, and you'll see how you can make it follow movement around the room, find faces in the room, and when people are talking, it's smart enough where you can configure it. So and I don't have stock in this company.
right.
This is just one that's available that seems to work really well for us.
Right, and I've heard of it. I've never seen anybody use it. If somebody else that does another show at the station, I'm at, they use it, but I didn't understand how it works. I'm like, how does it move around, or how does it work?
Setting it up, getting ready to go live. You can set it up, say follow faces. You want everybody in the room sat where they're going to be. You want to set up your room, and then you configure the Mevo prior to going live to follow faces. Or you can get it to follow faces.
It's a 4K camera,
It's
and what you're doing is just fine.
this is so right now I'm streaming using my sound card here, my Verizon card here. So I'm streaming this to YouTube, so if anybody wants to see the results of what we've just done here, email me at wpvm.103.7@gmail.com. So
camera now picking up like you and then somebody
it's got a wide angle right now. It's picking up kind of where that column is there. It's picking up from there to there.
So it will go to each person who's talking.
So right now I just hit it and I zeroed in on you automatically, but you can also touch it and say, well, that's really good. And then I can increase or decrease the size of the window. So right now, you 3 people are in this video.
If you have more people, you might want to do it manually versus a
Yes,
that
yeah,
food.
and really, you know, when someone is doing a show and they're working their board and they're doing their interview, it really does help to have a second person handling the camera, checking the angles, keeping an eye on the audio levels, making sure that you've got audio going in, making sure that audio is not peaking. So what was your question back there?
Well, I'm watching it now, you know, on Facebook, and I think I'm watching his camera, and I noticed it has some pauses, but
His phone is adjusting to the bandwidth that his phone is set up to carry. So I happen to be a tech addict, so the cellular card that will give me the most bandwidth so that I don't have to get out there and worry that I'm going to have gaps and things happening.
And I see this on Amazon, these two devices for $350 and then $150 for the other thing, so $500 for the pair.
Yeah.
And it says Android and Apple.
Except somebody's got it on Facebook, on eBay right now, because we just ordered a backup for around four something is what it is. And that includes the camera and the boost. So when I bought my first set a couple of years ago, it was close to $700 or $800.
Tell us about the boost, what it does.
So it's 10 hours.
Battery.
10 hours, but it gives you a much clearer picture. Much clearer than just doing it over Wi-Fi.
So would this like eliminate the need to have a camera person? Because that's what I was thinking about, like you said, it's still good to have somebody.
If you've got a person in there doing a live show who is not, who on their live show is not uncomfortable handling it themselves, the people that do best with us are, you have the show host doing the interview or whatever, and then you have another person just doing those little adjustments, like, you know, zooming in, like I just zoomed in on you right now. But not a paid camera person, a volunteer that is helping. So other options are smartphone. Laganzi is live streaming using it's to a similar iRig that I mentioned in here whenever I showed you how we're hooking ours into the headphone distributor. So it's picking up our headphone quality audio coming off of the board. He's using a interface that is picking up better quality audio than he would just be getting on his phone, which would be kind of tinny and a little hollow. This is another this is a Rode, and it plugs in to my iPad or my phone, and it'll pick up. So if we were to go out and I didn't want to haul mics like this, and I was close enough to the subject or the action, this picks up fairly decent audio.
And you call that a what?
This is a Rode mic, R-O-D-E.
Okay.
So there's different ones. What I do is I start looking for something that I feel like will work, and then I read the reviews and order it and try it out. I order from Amazon, it doesn't work, I send it back.
KLEK 102.5 FM.
So, and also so as I mentioned earlier, I'm streaming this to our Facebook page, or to our YouTube page. And if you email me at WPVM103.7, I'll send you the link to view this on our YouTube page so you can see how this equipment works. And
This configuration right here, can this go through the board?
What? I'm talking about what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Yes, what you can do is that's basically an XLR interface. So if you had like an XLR out on your board or something that can convert to an XLR, you can do that.
Okay, what is that? Okay.
But I got it from this place called Z Sounds. It's ZZSOUNDS. They have like payment plans, like so I'm paying like $25 a month. But I may just go and pay it out to get it, and it's actually a good source for.
And you'll get
the mic is plugged into this interface, and it's also got a headphone jack where you can listen, so I can actually listen to the audio. I just didn't plug it in for this.